So we're a little late. My bad, everybody. Let me go get this on the website so people can join us if they want. You get a work day and you lose all sense of time. I apologize for the delay. Let me get the link on here. Okay, edit. We're going to end this at the 27th at 9. Perfect. Save. And now we will get it on the Twitter. I can do that on my phone. So good morning to those of you who have alerts set on your phone, maybe. Shout out to Kim Miller for keeping me honest. Special thanks to Hillary Beach, Mark Hartman, and Melanie Sanchez for letting me reschedule a meeting. Let me put this on Twitter, and then we'll be good to go. No, that's not. I need to tweet as the school. Hey, good morning, y'all. Tweet. We are, in fact, live right now. Sorry for the delay. Link is on the website if you'd like to join us. All right, so here we are. It's Wednesday, October 27th. It's the last week of October. When we come back to school, it's going to be November. That's crazy. Let me open the Google form, and I also need to open my email because there's a whole bunch of things that people here emailed me to share. So it's a variety of things to do. Miss Beach, do you want to be on the morning show? You have anything you want to tell people? Senior class stuff?
Senior class stuff. Last day to order senior t-shirts, not the long sleeve shirts, but the t-shirts
Is that, okay, is that the difference?
That's the difference.
Ah, yeah. So the difference between the senior t-shirts and the MEB class shirts is that the senior t-shirts are t-shirts. They're short. Short sleeves. And the last day to order those is?
The end of next week.
The end of next week. So that would be November 4th, 5th. So November 5th is rapidly approaching and is the...
They're cheaper than the other ones.
And they are apparently cheaper than the other ones. We do have a preview of the... Do you have an image you can share with me?
Yeah. I can find it real quick.
I'll try and get a preview of those. I do have a preview of the MEB shirts, which I will put in the chat right now. Maybe. The internet right here is very slow, which I'm surprised by. So for those of you who asked for a preview, here is a preview of the MEB shirts. All right, here we go. So in the Google form, today's the 27th, which means the last time we did this was on the 20th. So this isn't, I'm going to read it per usual because I'm committed to reading these things. So it says, not really a question, but a perspective on tardies. My student was almost late again for her first period. Her response was that she would rather skip class and take the unexcused absence than be marked tardy and have to do multiple days of ALC where she would miss all of her classes. I think if the tardy policy can't be changed, that there needs to be repercussions for unexcused absences besides just missing instruction. There are. Kids just don't like to think about it until we get really close to prom, and all of a sudden they're not eligible to go to prom or Winterfest. So there are some punitive consequences when it comes to absences like that. But again, the major consequence there is missed instruction without support. Again, the ISS piece is, yes, you're not in class, but you do have direct access to a teacher. Teachers can come visit you. Teachers can request that you report to class for reviews and things like that. So I know it's complicated. Maybe we'll get Miss King on to talk about it at some point. I'm sure this is a much larger conversation, but when will a mental health day for our kids be an excused absence? Is there any discussion about revisiting what constitutes... So let me finish reading this. Is there any discussion about revisiting what constitutes sick? I've seen so many parents lie about their children being sick to get an excused absence when the child is really burnt out and needs a day to decompress. I think this topic deserves a larger audience. I would 100% agree. The difficulty there is that the definition of excused absences in the state of North Carolina are written into state law. So this is several steps out of our hands. It's not, and it is explicit. It is not the kind of thing that we interpret via protocol or procedure. Like, it is very well defined. I can go dig that out if you want to get into it, but it's in the handbook. The excerpt that we put in the handbook for students and the stuff you can find online is taken directly from state wording. So we're not interpreting that. Like, it is just that straightforward, which is rare. How do you get involved with driver's ed? My daughter's a sophomore and she's complaining that all her friends took driver's ed last year and have their permits. Will this be a class that she can take, a summer course or an after school thing? When can she enroll? Will there be any costs to this? Okay, so yes, driver's ed, the gateway to all things driver's ed is to Google Jordan Driving School. And what I'm going to do right now is give you guys a link to... My understanding is that everything is online right now, and we want to go here. jordandriving.com/Millbrook-Highs-School. Control V. Sorry, an MEB shirt. Millbrook Executive Board is our student government, and they sell junior, senior long sleeve shirts, which is what that preview is. It's not, the name has more to do with who is selling that shirt.
I sent you a link for the senior shirt.
A link. You sent me a link. That's what I need, is a link. Amazing. If my computer would let me copy it. There we go, copy link address. So in the chat right now is the senior class t-shirt preview. There we go. That's a good question. I heard kids will be able to eat in the cafeteria again soon. Yes, it's coming. Do you have details for that? Sort of, but I'll be, gosh, I mean, it's happening after the next workday. So it's literally going to happen the next time we have this show. There's a detail for you. So right now we're planning on being back in the cafeteria on November 3rd, the Wednesday after next week's workday. We are working through a variety of things, including not just the cafeteria. We always, as long as we've been here, have always had an outdoor patio that kids have been allowed to eat in. We are expanding the space that is available there. We're actually going to chain that parking lot off so people can't park there, they can't drive there. We're going to chain it and put flags up so it's really visible, so that there's more room for students to be out there. And so yes, there are going to be some other options that we'll be communicating to kids over the course of next week. I think that answers that question. If not, feel free to ask more. Is the day back after November 12th now an A day? Is the 15th an A day or a B day? Oh boy. I don't know. We haven't updated the AB calendar because of that yet, right? No. I'll have to check on that. We will probably update that. I know there's been conversations because you're losing a day in the rotation. So let me check and I'll get back to everybody. If somebody can remember, like as soon as we're done with the show, go put that in the Google form. I'll try and do it as soon as we're done. Who do we talk to if we have an issue with a grade for the first 9 weeks? The first step would be to talk to your teacher. Just send up an email, see what's going on. And then the next step after that would be to email your counselor and administrator for your student's last name. Thanks for that answer, Ms. Miller. Okay, did I put the Jordan Driving School link in there, or did I forget it? I got distracted by the t-shirts, I think. No, I didn't. Jordan Driving School's in there. Okay. So we did that one. Where's the information on NHS tutoring and how to sign up? Is this on the MHS website? Man, that's a really good question. Is Miss Bartney still right in there?
No. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's on the website. We're going to get Miss Bartney to come in here and talk about it if she's available. She might not be available, but if so, we're going to get her to talk a little bit about it. I do have a link that I can send for signups. I can share the information, which is it's tutoring for math, science, and humanities every Thursday in the Media Center from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. There is a sign up for students, and I will put the sign up link in the chat right now. Sign up for tutoring here.
Nothing on the website, but there's QR codes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. Midget said it would remain a B-Day. Cheers. Any update on why kids can't walk with cords? They've worked really hard for them. Yes, they have worked really hard for them. This is sort of much older answer than just this year, and this is a question that we get every year. The fundamental answer is 8 or 9 years ago, we switched to graduation robes with stoles on them. So every student walks out with a stole, and we decided that as we added stoles, we will use pins on the stoles. So right now, students are allowed to wear their DMCA, IB, and Honor Society pin. If other groups would speak to administration about potentially getting pins, I think that might be allowed. But at this point, those are the only 3 groups that do that. Thanks, Ms. Bartney. You want to come talk about it? You don't have to. I know some people are like, no, don't love being on the show.
She's an admin intern.
She's got to do some work. So we've got this nice flyer. I'm going to get this put on the website here as soon as we're done.
Awesome.
Can you give us a little bit of insight about where the Tutor Cats program came from?
Well, Tutor Cats program came from, especially last year during COVID period, we did not have, we could not do tutoring in person, so we started last year and we do it online. We were doing it online, but now that we're back in the building, Tutor Cats is our tutoring program that is a collaboration between National Achiever Society and National Honor Society, and it's held every Thursday in the Media Center from 2:30 to 3:30. In order for students to sign up, we do have, and as Mr. Patton showed you, a QR code that students can sign up. There is also the link that they can sign up, and we ask that they signed up by Wednesday at 12 noon. That is to make sure that we have enough tutors in the Media Center to meet the needs and the demands of the students in whatever subject, in the subjects of mathematics, all levels, science, all levels, and humanities, all levels. So we're here to assist. If you have any questions about it, you can definitely email me at Bartney, BARTNEY, at WCPSS.net for any questions, and I'll gladly respond. Turning back over to Mr. Pat.
She's a natural. She's going to start hosting this show in January, maybe.
We can make her do it next week.
Wondering if we found a replacement for Mr. Trochet. I don't think so, but I know interviews are actively happening. Who's the advisor for the Maniacs? Miss Coach East would be your contact for the Maniacs. TCEast at WCPSS.net. All right, back to the Google form because we're not even halfway through. Could existing Millbrook students be impacted by the redistricting? I understand that this information may not be available yet.
No.
I don't believe the answer. I think the answer is no. Ms. King just said it was no. My understanding is it mostly affects schools to the west.
We may get some students from Lee.
Yeah, if anything, we'll
grab.
grab some kids, but we have not been told that we would be losing anybody. We don't anticipate that. They would have messaged that very specifically by now. If you've got friends who are in Leesville, you can ask them. They've probably heard. All right, let me find Miss Patterson's email. Oh boy, oh boy. Ms. Patterson had an announcement about pickup and drop-off, and it goes like this. Please plan drop-offs for your student during their lunch period. We're 9 weeks in. We're noting that drop-offs are much higher than they have been in previous years. Drop-offs for everything from athletic equipment to a book for class or this or that, and then we try and do that while your student's at lunch so that we're not always calling into classes and interrupting. We have a lot of interruptions during lunch anyway with the bells that dismiss across time. We have been announcing that the lunch lines have been cleared, so we try and limit that. And then we've got some added variables like gym, JROTC, ag. They're not always in their classroom, and so sometimes it really can become like campus-wide hide-and-seek game if somebody's way out on a field somewhere. So it is best if you can coordinate that to be dropped off while your student is at lunch. When will the e-gaming meetings start again? My son expressed interest and attended the meeting, and we haven't heard anything since the initial meeting. Mr. Flowers, Dwayne?
Aaron Smith
Okay,
is over.
because I thought there was an update about that.
He said he'd supervise it, but there's like 4 of them.
Yeah, okay. So I think the answer to your question, to catch up about what's going on with esports, would be to email Erin Smith. Her email is eesmith@wcpss.net. When is freshman parent night? Oh man, that's a great question, and I think I can find it in the weekly message.
Isn't it tomorrow? No, tomorrow night?
It's soon. It was in the weekly message, so I imagine that. Why is the weekly message so far down in my recent documents? What in the world? It's like I'm doing a lot of work or something. Freshman parent night is Thursday, November 4th. So that's next Thursday at 6 p.m. And there's a Google Meet code. You can find that in the weekly message if you need it. The weekly message is on the website. Here's a question for either of you. If we are borrowing a cap or gown for graduation, can we order the drape for pins separately? We didn't see that option on Jostens, just the big package.
Catherine Courtright.
Okay. So, Ms. Hegler, you're going to want to email Catherine Courtright, CCORIGHT, C Courtright, at WCPSS.net. When will PSAT scores come back? My best guess is probably sometime in January. Those scores take a while to turn around. I asked Ms. Sanchez in the last couple days, and she was not sure yet. But usually it's several months. Will there be an esports gaming club? Haven't heard back from any of the advisors. Good. So again, we can touch base with Aaron Smith, the advisor, and see what's going on there. I'm sorry I don't have better information. My family was able to attend all of the Millbrook volleyball games this season, both home and away. We found the Millbrook bleachers and areas of the gym off the court to be very dirty, much dirtier than the other gyms that we visited, especially in the bleachers. Based on another question posed in a previous Wednesday morning session regarding the lack of cleanliness where ISS was held, the reply you had was that you appreciated reports of this kind. There we go.
Okay, that's a
I
custodian thing.
read it out loud. Ms. King was right here with me, so we will get on it. Has there been any change to whether the early, late arrival departure bus riders are allowed to remain in the media center before or after school? So long as the weather is nice, no. We do have some plans for really inclement weather situations. But in general, we're hanging out in the bus lot with them because it's the best way for us to supervise all of them. This may have been answered in a different session, so I apologize if it is a repeat, but will the students be getting hard copies of their Q1 report cards? The answer is yes. The quarter ended yesterday, so we will start printing report cards today or tomorrow, but that means they might not get in the mail till early next week, and you might not have them until the end of next week or even the week after that. So you will get a hard copy, but it might not be super soon. Do grades reset every quarter? No, grades do not reset every quarter, but I don't know, that is, hey, Miss Courtwright, you thought you were going to sneak on by. Is there a way for somebody to order only a stole? If they have a cap and gown they're going to use for graduation already, they just need to order a stole.
The stoles we order
Okay.
as a school, so they don't order their stoles.
Okay.
So that gets taken care of through their senior fee.
Okay.
So then they just don't need to order a cap and gown. The question would be the tassel, because that's year specific. So I think
Got it.
there's a way to order a tassel, but they would just need to take care of the tassel. We take care of the stoles.
Cool. So, Ms. Hegler, a recap on the cap and gown question you had earlier, which is the school orders stoles. The senior fee takes care of that. So, no worries there. You don't need to order that. The one thing you do need to look for is the tassel, because the tassels have a little year medallion and they're year specific. And those are available on Jocelyn's website, I imagine. And the link to the Jocelyn's website is in the weekly message pretty much every week all year. Because Ms. Courtwright always texts me on Friday saying that she put her thing in late, but it's never late because I'm always procrastinating and not putting the weekly message together until Saturday. So it's all good in the end. Thank you. Do grades reset every quarter? So sort of a complicated question. It's not so much that grades reset every quarter. You get a quarter grade for quarter one and it stays there. And now things that get graded sort of exist in this clump, and you'll get a grade for this quarter, and then those two grades will average into a semester grade. Then at the end of the year, those two semester grades come together to give you a final grade. So grades don't reset. The grade you got in quarter one is still there, but the grades you're earning now don't directly affect last quarter's grades. If report cards get mailed tomorrow, when will Power School grades be updated with Q1 grades? As of right now, some classes haven't had grades entered since September. So they should be. And I know that Miss Midget and Coach Bunting, well, Miss Midget emails the admin team and says, hey, here's the people who haven't updated grades. And we do that like every 2 weeks because we expect teachers to put in update grades every 5 class meetings, so that's every other week. I might need to talk to Bunting to see if something weird is happening with Power School itself, but grades should be updated. If you have an individual concern with a specific class, please email your counselor and administrator so we can get on that super fast. The good news is, like, if there are grades that haven't been updated and the report cards are wrong, it will be a lot of work. Chris Bunting will not be happy, but we can get on that and get those changes made. Last week you noted that some teachers have more than 30 students. Is there a way that parents could support in the classroom? First of all, I think the general consensus from the district guidance is no. This is going to be me like having no understanding of the elementary life where they have parents and IAs and things like that. With a high school classroom with 34 kids, I don't know that there's like physically more room for another adult sometimes. Like we have some math classes with 34, 35 freshmen and they're co-taught by 2 teachers, and it is tight. It is twister to try and move around that class and help kids with math. So, I'm going to go with what I say a lot. I think the best way to support teachers here right now is to join and be involved with PTSA. They do incredible work for the kids, for the teachers, and really help make the world turn and stay extra shiny. So that's really one of the most direct ways you can impact the quality of experience your kid has here. But huge thank you for being willing to ask that question. I really appreciate that. Okay, last question on the Google form. We were just told my child's Math 2 teacher is leaving after this week and there's no replacement. Maybe this is the same. Is there any more information on this? Concerned they will have a sub for an extended period who's not able to teach math at this level. So here we are. 1, the person has not been hired. 2, it is hard to find certified quality candidates. And I'll tell you right now, nobody on this admin team is willing to hire somebody who can probably do it if we think that it's not a good fit. There have been years in the past where I start the year without a teacher, and I have to tell the parents, like, look, it's going to be 3 weeks, but it's worth the wait to get somebody who's quality instead of having somebody now who's okay. I'm going to say this, which is there is nobody better equipped to find the right math teacher than Dale Midget, who's doing the interviews for that, as she supervises the math department. She taught math here for a number of years, including ABBC calculus, geometry, back when geometry was a thing. So, like, she knows math up and down, and everyone here is invested in making sure that we have a full-time person in there as soon as possible. Now, the reality of it is that might not be the case. There might be a sub for an extended period of time. What will happen in that situation is two or threefold. One is that Ms. Midget and Austin James, the department chair, will communicate with parents and say, hey, if you have any concerns, you need to reach out to us, please. We are here to support you while we have this gap. The other piece of the puzzle is they will work on a rotation schedule within the math department for math teachers to go in and actually provide the content instruction those students need to be able to handle math at that level. So they won't be without instruction. Now, what I'll go ahead and tell you from personal experience is kids like to try and find the gaps when that's happening. The teachers are going in there doing really great lessons consistently. But because the teacher's going in there and providing instruction, it's not quite the same, right? Like the gap is that teacher doesn't know that kid. That teacher is explaining the material really well, giving them great opportunities to practice, and giving them great feedback. But it's really easy it's just hard. It's a conversation we have every time, and I'm going to tell you right now, the number one way to manage that is to talk to your kid frequently. And if you start having concerns, go ahead and reach out to Ms. Midget, go ahead and reach out to your admin and counselor, go ahead and reach out to Austin James, because they're going to be there to help support all that. We will have students turn in assignments. They will get graded by math teachers. There's a lot of times kids try and play we haven't had, we didn't get it, we weren't told to do that, we weren't told to do this. And if I had to bet, those students are going to be given like a document or something with all those expectations on it if there's a gap. But in the end, it's what we come back to all the time, right? Which is the best thing you can do is ask. If you start with your admin and counselor, or if you're in that class and Miss Midget and Mr. James communicate that back out, reach out to the network that's there for sure. Okay, that was a good question. Because that happens, and just shout out to the teachers who have been managing lunch in their classrooms, are covering 2 other classes a week because we're short on subs, and now potentially will have to give up more planning to go and push into a class to teach. It's a lot. So let me go review the chat to make sure I've got everybody's stuff. Again, I'm very sorry for the delay today. Don't know what happened. I didn't come in and look at my calendar first. That's what happened. Shout out to Miss Miller, or I would have totally bombed this whole thing. Yep. Oh, here's a question that I missed. Can students access Wi-Fi while waiting for the bus? Yes, 250% they can. The Wi-Fi is available. I can regularly get Wi-Fi all the way out by the dumpster in the bus parking lot. But like if they're standing right there next to the 200 building, you'll be able to pull Wi-Fi from all those classrooms. If you're in the breezeway between the media center and the 1400 hallway, there's a really solid internet connection there. And honestly, if they're standing, the brick wall, you might be tough to get reception right along the edge of the media center, but we're fortunate to have really nice high-end access points. And at the end of the day, they're probably going to be pretty good. We have had some connectivity issues here in the building. Speak of the devil when we're talking about connectivity issues. Tim Blau. Mr. Blau has been the vocal advocate for the connection issues we've had. But that's a really great question. Yes, they absolutely can have access to Wi-Fi. They absolutely can be doing work. We would love to see that. In fact, the administration would love to help with homework while we're in the bus parking lot. We don't get to do that a lot. Another senior question, do we order transcripts for each individual college or does one go in the Common App? I do think you can put it in the Common App. I do think some colleges prefer an individual one. The best way to get that answer is to email your counselor. They're going to know that off the top of their head. Yeah, so if a teacher put in grades for Q1 late, do they get on the report card or the final grade updated, or do families need to ask for that? So, first things first, like, Coach Bunting, hey, Miss Beach, when are grades due?
4 p.m. today.
So grades are due at 4 p.m. today. Oh, that probably means that Coach Bunting will be here until like 7 tonight, because he literally goes through and verifies updated, finalized grades for every teacher. And you could ask Ms. Beach, like, finalizing grades is not super easy. Like, you do have to click a lot, you have to look at a lot, you have to verify things. And so teachers have to do that for all 6 classes. In some cases, like world history, like civics, like all the English classes, you're having to do that for 2 sections in each class period because you have the academic and honor section in the same place. So just the amount of paperwork is double in some of those situations. And for teachers here, it is higher than normal because they deal with all 6 classes now. You know, on a block schedule, teachers will only be managing 3 classes right now. So anyway, if their grades are not updated, that teacher will probably get an earful from Coach Bunting today. There have been many times where I have to go track down my teachers, walk them to Coach Bunting's office, and make sure they finalize grades before they walk out of the building. If you get a report card and you have any questions about it, and again, the report cards aren't printing today. Like, he'll finalize grades. They're due at 4. He'll probably look at them today. He'll finalize them by tomorrow and maybe start printing tomorrow evening. But if you get the report card and you have any questions about it, absolutely email your counselor and administrator, and we can get that. We can have that conversation if something was going on there. All right, I'm going to check the Google sheet one more time because sometimes we get some last-minute ads. Nope, it looks like we're good. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry, Dale Midget. I almost forgot the thing you sent me. It's because I didn't pin it. Did I pin it? I sure did. That's why I didn't see it. Yep, here it is. Here it is. Ms. Midget would like me to show this, which is that the district communicated to us late last night that we will not be posting any quarter 1 grades for any North Carolina virtual public school courses. We typically have been able to post progress grades, but we cannot post those grades for NCVPS classes at this time. For the overwhelming majority of you out there, that's not going to be an issue. But if you do have a student taking a class through NCVPS, please know there won't be a Q1 grade on there. Cool deal. I also shout out, I'm going to forget this too. People, this is why I have a Google form, and I just need to ask people to use it. Okay, so we are going to have our Meet the Social Worker event here. We are fortunate to have a full-time social worker. Jahida Cassiano has been a total game changer working with us here in the last 3-4 years. So Wednesday, October 27th, and this information will be in the weekly message this week, or I guess it was, because she added it. But today at 4:30 p.m., we will have a Google Meet. Again, you can find that in the weekly message. You can hear what services the social worker can help with, supporting students, attendance concern, following up on grades. If you have any housing or financial insecurities or concerns, again, sometimes it's not you, but sometimes you might know a family who might just need a little bit of extra support here at school. This would be a really great thing to connect them with. So at 4:30 p.m., we're going to have a session in English for families, and at 5:30 p.m., we'll have a session in Espanol. So if you happen to know any families that speak Spanish and maybe don't have as many connections because we only do this show in English, maybe that's something I should work on. Feel free to pass this along if you happen to work with any church or civic organizations that have connections in this area to any of our students, Spanish-speaking or otherwise. This is some really great information to get from them. Again, that is in the weekly message if you need it. What is the last day that teachers were allowed to collect assignments for quarter 1? That would have been Monday. That's the end of the quarter. Is that right? That's how you interpret that too? Yeah. So Monday was the last day of the quarter. And it's not so much that it's the last day teachers can collect it. It's like the last day that we let teachers collect it because we have to have them have grades in and get finalized. We have to have a cutoff at some point. So I know that most teachers were like, hey, I need this by Monday. Hey, I need this by Monday. Hey, I need this by Monday. There may have been a few extra generous teachers who were like, get it to me by Tuesday and we'll be okay. But the last day that teachers were allowed to give tests for quarter one, I mean, technically they could have done it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like the end of the quarter was Monday, but at the end of the day, the way the process works, there is a window in there that teachers certainly could have given a test yesterday. Certainly on Monday, it would not have been out of the question. So yes. What? You want to come talk to folks about grades?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
I've got a meeting at 10 for people who have questions about grades.
Yeah, it's parents.
Oh, hey parents.
It's the Facebook.
Grades.
Coach Bunting in person over here. But yes, I think that's probably not the answer you were looking for, but I will say with a work day today, teachers could have taken work through yesterday to put onto quarter one because grades are not due until 4 p.m. today. Maybe that's a misnomer with how we label end of the quarter. I don't know, I can ask, but end of the quarter is determined by the district and stuff like that. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week. It's looking like the weather this weekend should be nice. I do want to please talk to your kids if they're coming to the game on Friday, which we hope they do. Huge game on Friday, senior night, Wake Forest. What do we win the conference if we win this Friday, Coach?
What's that?
Do we win the conference if we win this Friday?
A lot of it goes into tiebreakers. and
Oh yeah, we got the okay, weird.
We win, we share, but we just don't know if the coin flip comes our way.
For sure. So what I want to share with all the parents is if your kids come in, please talk to them about how to be safe while they're here. We've had to pull a lot of vapes off of kids in the student section. The bottle throwing has been cut down, but we did have a student get injured earlier this year. They got hit in the eye with a bottle and had to get stitches. We will remove your student from games if they're doing anything that's unsafe. We're going to ask them to leave. We just want to full stop on that. But please just talk to them, make sure they're ready to make smart decisions because we anticipate having a ton of students. The other piece of the puzzle that's really important is NCHSAA regulations say that you cannot have full body paint. You have to wear clothes that meet dress code. So it's weird, right? Because we're all wearing these face masks. You cannot wear costume masks to the game. You can't wear costume masks that'll cover your face. If you happen to have a themed face mask, fine. But if a student comes with a full mask to the football game on Friday, we're going to have them leave it in their car or leave if they won't take it off. So straight up, I would encourage kids not to come in costume. It would be better and safer for everybody if that happened. But if they do, they need to be prepared to meet dress code and to be safe. The game on Friday is the final home football game of the regular season for us versus Wake Forest. It's senior night. And yeah.
Wow.
So we love all of you. We hope you have a great week. As always, thanks for the hard questions. Thanks for the feedback. If you guys need anything, as always, feel free to email your counselor or admin. You can try and reach out to me, cpatent2@wcpss.net. Sometimes it gets a little hairy and it takes a day or two, but if you need something, holler. We love you a lot, and we will see you next week, the same day that we get ready to take kids back to the cafeteria for lunch. Here we go. Have a good one.